All right, so this next story comes from the Chamber of Deputies. All right, we have Gary Bodeau, Deputy Gary Bodeau. Now, I like Gary Bodeau. If we have a picture of him, I could show you him here. That's the brother right here. You can see he's real tall. Yeah, I'm tall. Any of you that know me, I'm about 6'4", 6'5", right? But this brother is tall. He's probably maybe 6'9", 6'10". Um, and I like him. I think he's a very. I like the fact that he's slow to move. He doesn't get over hyped about anything. He's not the voyeur guy. I also like that he was one of the guys that worked under the former Prime Minister Laurent Lamont. And usually, and this is for me, but when somebody worked with him as back in Haiti, to me, I automatically think that you're a pretty decent person. Because contrary to popular belief, and I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a second, because everybody likes to bag on. I mean, some of the people in the opposition, they like to get on Laurent Lamont, and they like to say, "Oh, God got," and he's messed up stuff, and no, and he's into criminals and stuff. No. Coming, one thing I knew about this guy, he didn't like to get his hands dirty or around any type of nonsense. If you had something going on that was fishy, he wanted to keep you as far away from him as possible, because now you infringing on his goals and his ambitions, and he was a very ambitious man. So he wasn't going to risk your nonsense for what he's trying to do. You know, I mean, they ended up kicking him out of that administration because, he wasn't down with what was going on. All the stuff about Petrocaribe, there's gonna be blame that's gonna be put on him. This is my prediction now. There's gonna be blame that's gonna be put on Lamont, but I don't think it's gonna get to the level of criminal. The blame he will get is political, because as the prime minister, the buck stops with you, and you have to be, even though you're not, he was always out of place around the folks in Haiti, but you have to stop them from doing, what they would or what they may. So he's going to get some blame for that and some criticism for that. But to say that he's involved in embezzlement and stuff, I would never, I wouldn't believe it. You'd have to, I mean, it wouldn't add up for him. So Gary Bodeau, he worked under that. Also, Bodeau is over Delmas, and that's my second home, Fort Liberté. Interesting enough, so Fort Liberté is where Jovenel Moise is. He's not from there, but close to there. I think he's from Tour du Nord. And then, Gary Bodeau for my second home, Delmas. So Fort Liberté, Delmas. All right. So either way, so he said on Tuesday that the hearing to impeach the president will be held. This is a hearing some deputies put forward back on June 21st. And it is supposed to be next on the agenda. Everything was filed and in order. And for some time, they've been trying to get around it, trying to get around having to hold this impeachment hearing. But now they're going to have to. I mean, legally they had to. I really don't know how. And I think that's why you got to appreciate Gary Bodeau. Because anybody else in that position, they would have tried to find a way to never have the hearing, the impeachment hearing. But he has enough credibility to understand the way the regulations are worded, the way the procedures are supposed to go, and he's going to respect that and have the hearing, even though he's part of Bouclier, which is PHTK. But Bouclier is PHTK, as well as and a few other parties that have different names, but they're the same thing. But Bouclier, where it separates himself from the others, is that it is the only political party that is actually created because they knew PHTK was dirty and corrupt. Cause see, they always were their own thing. Okay, they always were their own thing, had their own thing going on. Yuri Lato too over there in Lati Bonit, they had their own thing going on. Other political parties like RPN, Evans Paul, I think that's the name of it, or the National Front, or whoever else that is part of it. They always had their own thing, but Bouclier was actually something that came out of PHTK and was from people who were in PHTK but didn't want to be associated with it. That's what Bouclier is, essentially. It's PHTK people that don't want to be associated with it, while the others have always had their own thing and have chosen to work with PHTK and form a block with them. Bouclier was PHTK, but they separated because they didn't want to be tied to that name. So he is PHTK, and that's the party of the president and Sweet Mickey. But it is what it is. But so now continuing on, it's not going to go anywhere. You know, the Chamber of Deputies is not going to. Well, let me even back this up. First of all, we don't even know if we're going to get to a meeting. We don't even know if there's going to be a meeting in the Chamber of Deputies before the entire Parliament becomes dysfunctional on the second Monday of September. Now, by saying that there will be an impeachment hearing, there's a good chance that, you know, the people who were boycotting meetings will show up, you know, but I think those persons are going to sniff out that it's not going to go anywhere. And if they can't use it as a platform enough to be able to speak against the president, they won't participate, and therefore there will not be a meeting. But in the case that there is a meeting, I don't believe that Jovenel Moise would be impeached. And it's two steps to be impeached. The first comes from the Chamber of Deputies, where they have to first lay out the charges against the president. So, and you need 2/3 of the deputies in order to say, hey, Mr. President, you are guilty. They vote that he is guilty and they impeach him. Now, he still will be president, but now he will go into the Senate where he will be judged. And if he gets 2/3 in the Senate to say guilty, now he is officially out of office. So the Chamber of Deputies charges, the Senate rules. Okay? And that's going to be the process. And it's not going to happen. And the number one reason why I know it's not going to happen that they impeach the president, because it would be too much like right. You know, it would be too much the right thing to do. You know, because even like for example, Jovenel Moise resigning, that would be too much like right. You know, considering the circumstances, considering that their presence is hurting the country, and that they could be more facilitators of a change that can help the country. Considering that, These people, they won't do that. It's about them. It's about their personal their selves, and therefore, in the Chamber of Deputies, it's not going to happen that they impeach the president. As well, they should. They ought to look at the situation. I mean, all they really need to do is look at the charges against the president, against his administration, against all the corruption, all the embezzlement. Now we got gangs. He's controlling gangs. He's tried to take, with those mercenaries that was down there in Haiti, he was trying to take the money and put it into a personal, well, I'm not going to say a personal account, but an account that he could control when, as president of the republic, you're not supposed to be able to control money. It would be too much like right if they were to impeach the president. And a world where Haitian politicians do what is right, that does not exist yet. It's on us to make that world exist, but that does not exist now. Okay, so there will be an impeachment proceeding. I don't believe, and he said he's going to do it even before the hearing for ratifying a prime minister. So that's just doing things by the book the right way. But it won't go anywhere, and I doubt that we even get to a meeting. We're not going to get to a meeting. That's what I believe. So there it is.